Hello, folks. I decided to stop making videos that were so dark, as in, and no light in them. I know I would, it would get on my nerves to be sitting there looking at a blank screen or a dark screen and, you know, not actually seeing anything. So, um, I've been reflecting on a lot of stuff, relationships, um, how I live my life, what the way I think about things, the programs that, I've been indoctrinated into, and how to break those cycles. And yeah, programming is awfully hard to break. It's programming. I mean, it kind of started from when you were a kid, and you know, it is ongoing now. It's kind of like, well, um, boys are told that you need to be stoic and not show your emotions. You're supposed to protect the woman and things. I agree with those sort of things. Um, but at a certain point, you really do have to realize that you have to do some things for yourself. It's a real selfless program that's put in. Well, buy this, buy that, buy the house, buy the car, and when you get a divorce, she's going to take that stuff away from you. Don't get mad about it. Um, and that's kind of the program, oh, well, she maybe never loved you. That's, you're being rejected. That's not something to get all overly upset about, but it can be awfully upsetting, just to realize that, those deep feelings that you have are not the feelings that the other person has, the lady. Um, if you're a person that is capable of love, and you're generous at heart or generous in spirit, you know, that's who you are. You shouldn't stop being that person. You shouldn't stop loving people. You shouldn't stop being able to love. It's pretty rare that a person can love and does love and will outwardly show it, you know? So it's not a bad thing. It can be put out there as a bad thing, or you're just a sucker, or you're just a plain fool, just for even caring about someone. And, as I see it, that sort of stuff will wind up backfiring eventually. Because everybody needs somebody, and the one side of the program, the woman side of the program is that, you have to have that guy actually care about you so your program can work. Um, it's not. I am not changing out of the program, so to speak. What I'm doing is trying to be a better person within what is going on. You can break out of the matrix, so to speak, but it still shouldn't change who you are at your core. And if you are a decent person, you should keep on being a decent person. You know, no reason to go all thug just because, things aren't really the way that you saw them before. So, yeah, loving people, loving a woman is not a bad thing. Um, you just might want to be, let's just say, a whole lot smarter about it. And me, I'm not really abdicating relationships, anymore. I'm more along the line of, I don't necessarily think it's necessary for me. I'm not telling anyone else not to fall in love or go by the program or that sort of stuff. Eventually, the program boots you out anyway. In other words, you wind up divorced. You wind up, you know, back on the dating market and that sort of thing. Um, Not necessarily a bad thing, but and truthfully, you really wish it didn't go that way. So a man's life winds up being a series of failed relationships, which mostly he wanted to not be failed relationships. And that sort of thing tends to, make a guy pretty angry, which is why they come up with stuff like Mgtow. Men going their own way. Why am I doing all this stuff for, a relationship that is gonna wind up failing anyway? It's designed to fail because it's really about getting those resources, getting those funds, getting those assets. There's a reason why the state is just perfectly fine with your relationship failing. They're the woman's gonna get the assets. She's gonna pretty much spend it all pretty quick. Your house is gonna go back up on the market, only you're not gonna be able to afford to buy it back yourself. That sort of stuff. Mm, the fact that a man is capable of love, it says something about the guy. The fact that there is so many failed relationships. Yeah, and after a while, it just really hurts. And you say, well, what can you do about it? And nothing really. It's just the way that it is. You gotta keep on going. You gotta keep on living. You gotta keep on trucking, so to speak. Yes, that's a pretty old one, but it's like life goes on and you have to go on. And you just can't curl up somewhere and die. And it's not the way to go about things. So I'd say keep on loving. Keep on trying. I'm not an advocate or someone who says prostitution is okay, but for a lot of guys who just cannot be without a woman, that may be a way to go about it. Because that physicality, the physicalness of it, the emotionalness of it, is something that guys actually need. That's why you have so many folks with so many different anger issues and things like that. They're basically being true force loneliness, type of situations, and when it's basically a pretty decent dude, and he's all right, and you wind up alone anyway, and then winding up alone and broke. It does it doesn't really help or make the situation any better. So as I'm thinking about my child and the fact that I want her to be in a good relationship when she gets older, um, someone decent that actually cares about her, that's should be normal stuff for any parent, or you would think so anyway. And I wanted to set a good example for her and have a good relationship, and it's awfully difficult. Awfully difficult. The best you can do. It's awfully difficult. Mm, yeah, I don't see myself trying to be in full relationship or um, pushing that narrative on folks. But it is important for the general populace. So, if you are a decent person, a nice person, keep on being that. There's not as many around as there used to be, and not as many around as there should be. Love is important. God is love. So, just let the Lord in you come out, and you're doing pretty good.